Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, sim fans, race fans, RC fans. All the gear and no idea. Here again today, Racing 393. I'm just going to have to move my microphone. I thought I had that in the right place. Right, so here we are again. Now we're back on the Eclipse 4 chassis build, where I've purchased, from my other video, hopefully you've watched that, I've purchased another load of gear. And one of the things that I'd purchased was the Pro ball bearings. So this car has 2 in each front wheel and 1 on the rear axle. I mean, to be honest, if I sort of spin, if I can, the rear axle, you know, the wheels are not quite true, but I think that's pretty good. To me, that's pretty good. So the ball bearings that are currently on the kit at the moment, I would say are pretty good, if I'm honest with you. I don't suppose there's many reasons why I should change. As you saw, the front axle, the rear axle was working really well. So what I decided to purchase was, if I show you here, the Pro ball bearings. Now, apparently, these are even better, so I've read. Now, if I show you the front, if I can just, I can't spin this round because, like it looks like it can, because it's on a spray lid, if you like. So you can see that wheel there. So what determines the free rolling of these bearings is how tight you do that nut. Now you have it so that there's very little play, if any, just before it nips. And if I show you, I mean, these tyres are not true. What's over that other? So I've got a tyre truing machine as well, so I might have to do something like that, I don't know. But anyway, that's a separate thing. But if I spin the wheel, I mean, there is a little bit of resistance there, very tiny. And if I just take some of that, you know, undone the nut a little bit, and that's better. Now, bearing in mind, so you can see they may want even balancing, even if you want to go down that route. But yeah, there's very, very little resistance there. I don't know, maybe I can go up a tiny bit, like that. So to the best of my knowledge, that is pretty free rolling. So we're going to compare that with the new bearings. So I'll spin it once more to see if it notices any difference at all. So you can see that spinning away. There we go. Right, so what I'll do now is I'll take that wheel off, put the new bearings in and see if it's any different, and compare it to the other side to see whether or not how much did I pay for these? I think I said about the total was probably £28. I think I added it up. Let's have a look. Was it on this one? Yeah, so the rear bearings were £11.99. 11.99. So that was the rear, and the fronts. Oh, they were also 11.99, but I had to buy 2 of them though. So it's 11.99. That's like £5 a bearing. Yeah. I know bearings are cheaper nowadays, but you know, I still got a lot of money. Right, let's take this one off. I'm not going to bring that down yet. So I'm undoing the wheel nut very slightly, so it's got starts to become maybe a little bit tiny little bit of play, and then you just wind it in a hair. You can see when I do that, I'll show you. I'll just move the wheel a little bit, and you can see it sort of doesn't spin on its own, so we'll just go a tiny bit more. Still gripping it. Still gripping it, unless they're shit bearings. Let's try a bit more. I'm not too... See, at the moment, that's got play in it. So it's got what they call end flow. So which means you've got to wind that in a bit more. And to me, I'm going to be quite frank here, that doesn't spin as well now. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Also, I've got to thank Schumacher for sending these out, because they sent me the wrong parts, and literally 2 days later I got them sent, so yeah, congratulations for that. So that's that one. I'll spin the car round. So hopefully you can still see the front wheel. I know this one's a little bit tight, it's a fraction tight. So these are standard. And there's no play in that at all. I mean, fraction looser. So it's free. The wheel, as the wheel stops, it doesn't stop still. It sort of rotates back to the sort of the heaviest point in the wheel, if you like. So if you wanted to go to the extent of balancing them. Like that. This is the Pro bearing. To hold this while I spin it. That seems to spin for longer. It is quieter though. I think it's slightly like they're well, they're not warms, I haven't used them, but they sound, you can hear them, and the Pro bearings are a lot quieter. So I guess that's the sort of the machining of that. Right, so I'll change, what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the other bearing off camera, come back, show, I don't know what to show you actually, but show you that I've done it, and we'll go from there. So there we are, the fronts are done. It's not a difficult job at all. But I think if anything, they do feel better. The others they seem to run freer, but maybe once you've used them, they might sort of free up a bit. I don't know, but I must admit, now I've got them both on there, and you spin it up, and there's zero resistance there at all. But they do feel a bit smoother running. So now the back one, I've got to take the axle out, take the wheels off, and put in the two bearings on the back axle. I don't have to. I mean, that to me that feels not bad actually. That feels pretty good. But as I've got them, I'll take the wheels off, I'll take that side off and just slide the axle out. I think I've got to take the wheel off. Yeah, I've got to take the... I can't remember how that fits on there. Can I take that side off? I can't really get into the other side. Yeah, I'm going to take the wheel off, probably off camera, and then refilm it. So I can't remember the best way to do this. But just so you know, just so before I actually strip it down, the wheel's not dead straight or true on there. That's probably me doing it up. But that's very, very, very well free played. It's absolutely zero resistance there whatsoever. So you might ask yourself, what's the point of changing it? But I'm going to do it. It's just, there's no play at all. That's perfectly set. I think the only thing that is the wheels are not totally true. But we'll see. We're going to change the bearings. There's these ones here. Pro ball bearings. And there's two of them, obviously, one each side. So we'll get going and put that on. So there we are. We've fitted the Pro ball races, ball bearings, however you would like to call them, all round. So I'm just going to show you, if you remember how the back felt or looked, and I'm going to spin this up. So what I've noticed of how much quieter it is, smoother. It's definitely smoother. It may not be quite as free. I don't know, not just me, but what I have noticed is that it feels, you know, it's going to sound counterintuitive here, it feels tighter but more refined. I don't think it spins quite as free. I know the last little bit, maybe, you know, to my knowledge, a freer spinning bearing means less friction, but yeah, but anyway, that's the bearings done. So I've got a lot of bearings here which have not been used. Brand new, I'll keep hold of those as spares, you never know. So the next thing to do really is a little bit boring, as I'm not going to film it, is change some of those screws over. So I've got titanium screws, so it'll save a little bit of weight. I don't know if I've got enough. I mean, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the button screws, I can already tell, button-headed ones, there's 10 that I can see on top of the chassis, so I'll probably do those off camera if I'm honest. I don't think it's going to make much difference as far as I'm concerned, weight wise. And I think the next thing I might actually do a little bit of just checking the ride height. Just want to see what it's set at really, just so I can go over it with you, and we can have a quick look at that. So I'll just sort out some of these screws, and then I'll be right back. It's going to be these button head ones on top, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've only got 10. I can count at the moment. I can count 12, and underneath must be countersunk. So it definitely wants more than just a pack of 10. Depends on how long they are. I've got 2 different types. So I'll have to remember which ones I've not changed. I think I'll start from the back, work forward. At least I know which ones are not changed. I'll have to get another packet, you know, OCD and all that. Anyway, I'll just do that and then I'll come back to some ride height. So we've put on the titanium bolts that I can. I'll quickly move the camera so you can see. You can see the different colours there. So I was going to put the ones on the back on, sort of the back strut brace if you like, across the rear of the axle. But they're really short. And I haven't got any button head short titanium bolts, so I'll have to do those. So they're different colours, you can see. If I move across, you can see where I've changed the other button heads. So I've done a lot of them on the top there, and I'm just going to flip the car over, and I've done most of the underside as well. There's a couple I'm going to need, because here, one of those two there, if I just flip it over, the fixing point is there with that 10mm nut, but the nylock isn't actually on the countersunk screw because it's not long enough. I don't know, it must be about 8mm long or something like that, I don't know, but it's got to go through more. So I need to get a countersunk screw that's longer. I'll have to have a look. But most of the ones underneath that matter are changed. As you can see, I haven't done these ones here. I have got some extra screws, but I don't know how long they are. I'll have to have another look. And the back one there was just quite difficult to get off with the nut. Well, it wasn't difficult. I forgot to do it, if I'm honest. So there we have it. I'm just going to put the car down on the deck so you can kind of see how it looks. So the interesting thing is how these work. I think on the sort of the tweaking or the tweak of the chassis has got something to do with this bit here. This is how the suspension works. So it's got a bit of, that's what that damper in the middle is, and you can see it's very soft actually. So I can't quite remember how. Oh, there we go. So that's a sort of that suspension, and then we got this suspension here. Also got the ball diff in, as you know. I did that earlier on in another video, but you know, we're getting there. There'll be an out-and-out racing car that I won't race. Very impressive. I'm building it because, you know, I like the detailing of it all. Yeah, very impressed. A few more nuts and bolts to get, and then I know I said I was going to do a bit of a ride height check. I think I'll do that another time, like a little setup, once I know what I'm doing. But anyway, that's the next stage. I think that's part 8 now. So I thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. So just a quick update. That's the car with the shell on. The next thing I'll be doing is probably fitting the motor, which means a bit of soldering and a bit of the wiring. I just want to show you actually the way these kind of the back end works on these. So I'll come down quite low and around the back. Try and move. I try and move. I'm holding the camera as well. I think my other video will be a setup video. But as you can see, that's what the back axle. Try and get a bit lower. A bit awkward here. And then I'm going to lift one side of the axle. And I mean, we're only talking very, very slight movement there. There's not much. Remember, these carpet racers are pretty much almost like racing on a billiard table. I'm just going to try and go down a little bit lower. There we go. So let's try the other side. So excuse my monkey arms. So you can see how that kind of operates. We're only talking small amounts. It has got suspension movement and damping. But I think as a 112 car, that is well impressive from an engineering point of view. So I think, thinking about it, my next video will be a quick setup video and learning how to use the tools that I've got. Then it will be sticking the electrics in, i.e. the motor, speed controller. So wish me luck with that one. Anyway, that definitely is it for now. I appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoy my progression with this quite exquisite, to be honest, highly technical and amazingly detailed 1/12 scale LMP Pro chassis Eclipse 4 by Schumacher. So I thank you very much and bye for now.